questing for your 3-year vision. So 3 years is a long enough horizon in your life that you should feel a sense of expansion, what the yogis call akasha. And akasha is the element of ether, where you feel like there's just enough spaciousness, there's enough time in front of you that you can dream big. So dream big, same thing as think big, test small, fail fast, learn always. In this think big or dream big phase, you're looking enough down the road. So whatever date it is right now, just think a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It's a lot of time. You've got 36 months. Now, what do you want to be in 3 years? Who do you want to become? What do you want to have had happen? What will have changed, shifted for the positive? You can use the sentence stem beyond my wildest dreams. What is beyond my wildest dreams that I could make happen in 3 years? And what I find is that the sentence stem around beyond my wildest dreams is it gets you to ask yourself, like, what are my wildest dreams? Now, it's important here that I find that you don't just focus on like one aspect of your life. So a lot of people focus on their business if they're an entrepreneur, or they'll focus on making money if they're employed, or having, earning at a higher level, or having a different job, a different position than they currently have. That's all fine. And if that's one of the big chunks of what you want to do in the next 3 years, like, yes, you're in the right place. Let's go after it. I also want you to think holistically. I want you to think in terms of your body, in terms of your relationships, in terms of your day-to-day schedule. If your life is beyond your wildest dreams 3 years from now, what will you be doing? What will a typical day look like? What will have shifted? And that's really where you want to start with this 3-year vision. So I'm going to read a little bit from Master View on 3-year vision. I'm going to read page 120, and then we'll get into the actual process of it. Now is the time to think big. Rooted in your story, you are prepared to pursue your 3-year vision. 3 years is the sweet spot between the infinite future and now. It's a mini forever, a trilogy of iterations possible within a decade. This solid chunk of time is malleable enough for the mind to manage, yet long enough to make a lot happen. When you consider 3 years out, you set yourself up for something great. The term a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal, captures the spirit of you doing something great. Yet, this can also spin some people out into perpetual stress. They might be better off considering a goal that simply feels aligned, smart, resilient, and grounded. Trust your desire in knowing how big or small you want to be next. For some, a big BHAG might be reducing 50% of your work for time to travel and play. Paul Jarvis, author of Company of One, Why Staying Small is the Next Big Thing for Business. And as a side note, I interviewed Paul Jarvis on the Yoga Healer podcast, and I've interviewed him a few times, but you can find the podcast on Company of One there. Paul reminds people who want to enjoy their lives that they can also set goals that focus specifically on the life they want, which might be smaller, smarter, more efficient, and more resilient. You'll start your quest with a question: what exactly am I aiming for in the next 3 years? And I've got to say, if exactly messes you up, you can say, what generally am I aiming for in the next 3 years? And we can get it more specific as you work through it. So if you're more of a perfectionist type, I'm not reading anymore. This is as a side note. If you're more of a perfectionist type, look out for perfectionist word triggers, like exactly, and just change them to the opposite and see if that actually helps you reframe the test small, which is such a great thing, or the solid B-, such great ethos for the recovering perfectionist. So what exactly or generally am I aiming for in the next 3 years? Author and Jungian analyst Clarissa Pinkola Estes points out, asking the proper questions is the central action of transformation. Questions are the key that causes the secret doors of the psyche to swing open. What do you want more of in your life? What do you want less of in your days? Recall the 5 words you generated when you mastered your space. Recall your superheroine image. Your 3-year vision should feel good, exciting yet grounded, and svasta, seated in your uniquely personal self. With an aligned effort, it should feel possible, or at least plausible. I want us to do a side note there too. You're not going to understand how you're going to get there, and it's important in this 3-year vision, this questing for your 3-year vision, you don't worry about the how, but you're very focused on the what, and the what needs to be so super true to your core, and we'll get into that in a minute. So with aligned effort, it should feel possible, or at least plausible. To receive your vision, I recommend you go on a short quest, a pilgrimage of sorts. Examples abound of people going on a mission, a quest, a pilgrimage to see beyond what they normally see. Our myths across time and cultures describe this process of leaving the herd, stepping outside the status quo to see a brighter future. Seekers are willing to trade their past stories of themselves for future possibilities. The pioneer trades in chatter for silence, the known for the unknown, the predictable for the incalculable, engaging tapas in the process. And tapas, again, is this burning desire for what you want next. It's the burning desire at the core of your being. It's the burning desire to evolve. You bring your 3-year vision to front and center. Schedule time for a quest soon. This time investment upfront compounds like interest, saving you headaches and delays in the future by aligning your actions now. So a few comments on this moving into the liminal space. And liminal space is when you get beyond the threshold of the normal. So the yogis would do this. Actually, I'm even going to draw out what this looks like. So in yoga, there's chakras, there's energy centers. Here, we'll give you hair. One of these energy centers is the third eye. So when we quest for vision, you're seeing beyond what the normal eyes can see. I'll give you eyebrows too. So this is your third eye. Now the third eye is in charge of deep visioning, and it's connected, it's the 6th chakra, and it's connected to the other chakras, obviously. The 7th chakra, which is the crown of your head. This is connected to the absolute or the whole. One way you might understand this is universal laws. Like one universal law is like when you focus on the positive expands. That's a universal law of expansion with positivity. There's the law of duality or the opposites. These universal laws that are part of our universe, that's connected through the 7th chakra. The chakras below the third eye, including the 5th chakra, which is your voice, is your ability to give voice to speak your truth. The heart chakra, which is your heart detector, in order to even know what is aligned higher desire, in order to know love and connection. 3rd chakra, which is your personal power center. 2nd chakra, which is your more physical desire center, sensual desire center. And your 1st chakra, which is your rootedness and your presence and your groundedness, your resilience. These are all connected to the third eye. And so the third eye is connecting the individual to the absolute. Your absolute nature of being a human with your individual purpose of your dharma. So taking some time to focus on your third eye, to focus on your vision. One of the ways that this is, that this kind of thinking is now termed is liminal thinking. And liminal thinking is thinking that's beyond the threshold. So it's where the door opens. What is beyond the threshold? that's where you enter the liminal space. And that's exactly what Clarissa Estes is talking about when she says, questions are the key that causes the secret doors of the psyche to swing open. So in liminal thinking, we're saying like, okay, let's actually take some focused time that's out of our normal everyday responsibilities. Let's take some time to actually ask some reflective questions, to journal, maybe to even go on a hike and do this in a space where you're not where you normally are. If there's a place like a pilgrimage where you could go, where it's a place that you find sacred, it doesn't have to be anyone else finding this place sacred. It's just like where you feel the most yourself, the most inspired version of yourself. That'd be a great place to go and to do your 3-year vision work. So in your 3-year vision, there's an exercise, and I will put the exercise under this lesson that plays the audio of exactly what to do and the questions to ask yourself. This video is just to really actually get you into the mode of, can you schedule one day? And I know for some people this just seems like an impossible task, that you can't take a day out of what you're normally doing to do this. Others, for you, it's like, yeah, okay, easy. You open your calendar, the next free day you have, just write 3-year vision quest. And that's that day. If you have to break it into 2 half days, that's fine. But I would much rather you did it for one day. And then the night before, what you actually want to do is you want to prepare like a runner prepares for a race. So you want to prepare for the race. You want to prepare for really what we call a peak experience, so that you're hydrated, so that you're rested, so that your body has good nutrition in it, so that you're exercised, so that when you wake up that day, you already feel good, like you're psyched, you're on target. You don't have like a insomnia hangover, but you're ready to rock and roll. And then on that day when you wake up, like, this is a really important day. This is a sacred day. This is the day where you're going to actually receive from where? Well, the yogis would say from the absolute, from the 7th chakra to the 6th chakra. You're going to receive your vision. And it's truly a receptive act to receive your vision. It's not something you need to make happen. It's something you simply create the space. Liminal thinking doesn't happen without space. It needs its own space for this. I mean, all thinking arguably needs space. Liminal thinking is like space beyond the threshold of normal, which brings us right into the field of way out there, of the ether, or of outer space, or of the akasha, of like where you can receive from pure inspiration without running it through filters of, who am I right now? What have I done before? What's not working? How is this impossible? You want to like filter out all of the how it's going to happen, so you can just simply be in the space of who will I be in 3 years, and receive the vision of that. Who could I be in 3 years? So there's questions, and I'll read a few, and then again, you can listen to the audio. Consider what you want to be like in 3 years. What do you want your life to be like? What do you want your body to feel like? Who is the person you dream of becoming? Are you being called to some purpose? What is that exactly? What do you want to be doing with your time 3 years from now? With whom? This day is meant for you to ask the big questions. Record what you're feeling, thinking, and desiring. Draw pictures or stick figures. Capture your words. Circle, highlight, recall your superheroine. And then there's more instructions in there that are also in the audio that will really walk you through it on that day. This is a day for peak performance. It's a day for peak experience. It's a day for you to honor your own dharma. So go ahead and schedule the quest for your 3-year vision.